Hello, welcome to another 2-Minute Talk. My name is William. I'm the president of Quantum Franchise Group. And today, what I'm going to be talking with you about is how to evaluate the potential return on investment of a franchise opportunity. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and jump into it. It is by far the most common question asked by a franchise candidate whenever they're evaluating a franchise concept. How much money am I going to make? How fast am I going to make it? How fast will I recoup my initial investment? And though it is one of the most important questions to ask, it is one of the most difficult questions to answer. And I want to begin this 2-minute talk by explaining that franchises and franchise brokers and consultants like myself, we're actually prohibited by the Federal Trade Commission from giving you any kind of promises or guarantees about what kind of money you're going to make and how fast you're going to make it. But that said, there are 3 different ways that you are going to be able to evaluate the potential ROI of a franchise concept. And we're going to dive into those 3 things now. So the first way to evaluate the return on investment of a franchise concept is through what's called an Item 19. Let me explain this to you. Every franchise system is required to provide franchise candidates with a document that's called the Franchise Disclosure Document. And part of that document is a section that's called the Item 19. And the Item 19 will show you the average unit volume for franchise owners who are already in the system for the previous year. Now, they might also show you some other things. They may show you the expenses. They may show you the net profit. They may even share an entire profit and loss statement in the Item 19. But then there are some franchise systems that won't include any information at all. Though they are required by the FTC to provide a FDD, franchise disclosure document, they are not required to provide financial performance information in their Item 19. They can actually leave it blank, and that can sometimes be a bit of a red flag. Not always, but it can be. But if you're evaluating a franchise concept that does have the Item 19 in their franchise disclosure document, that is the first way that you're going to be able to evaluate the return on investment potential that you have. Now, one of the great advantages of working with a franchise broker and consultant like myself is we're going to have that Item 19 conversation right up front before you even get an introduction to the franchise company. Whereas if you're dealing directly with the franchise company, getting that Item 19 information might actually be 2 or 3 steps into the process. But we're going to cover it right from the beginning to make sure that you feel comfortable about the Item 19 numbers before we even introduce you. All right, the second way for you to evaluate the potential ROI, and I want to continue emphasizing this word potential because that's what we're really talking about here. Again, driving home the point that there are no promises, there are no guarantees of revenue or net profit. We're talking about potential. And the second way to evaluate that is through what's called a unit economics call or a territory economics call. This is where you will meet either on the phone or in a Zoom meeting with someone from the franchise development team at the franchise, where they are going to take a look at your territory. They'll take a look at dynamics, household count, demographics. They'll take a look at the performance of surrounding territories, and the goal here is to help you to create what's called a pro forma profit and loss statement, an estimated profit and loss statement for your specific territory once you get your business up and running. All right, here we are at method number 3 for determining the return on investment potential with a franchise, and that's through what we call validation calls. Remember earlier when I mentioned the franchise disclosure document that every franchise system is required to provide to you? They will also, when they deliver that FDD to you, they will also be providing you with a list of current franchise owners in the system and their contact information. And you'll be not only welcomed, but you will be strongly encouraged to reach out to those franchise owners and speak with them about their experience with the company, but also the financial performance of their franchises in their territories. Remember, I told you earlier that we are prohibited by the Federal Trade Commission from talking too much about financial performance. However, franchise owners, they're not under that same prohibition. They can share with you anything and everything that they are comfortable sharing with you. So these calls are designed to help you validate what I have told you as your franchise consultant about the system and to validate what the franchise development team at the franchise has told you about the opportunity. So there you have it, 3 ways to evaluate the return on investment potential of a franchise concept. Thank you for joining me. I hope this has been helpful for you. And yes, of course, it took us 5 minutes to get through a 2-minute talk. As usual, I guess that's just what it's going to be. But whenever you are ready to begin the journey toward business ownership, I'm happy to come alongside of you and help you to get there, help you to make sure that you're covering all of your bases and doing everything the right way to be awarded a franchise. Stop by my website, quantumfranchisegroup.com, and we'll get the conversation started.